Wait. Stop.
What?
You got all the audio plugged in this time, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have video problems this time.
All right. We got our cigars, right?
Oh, yeah.
I
We're
swear.
missing something.
Yeah, we are missing something.
You don't have a drink.
Damn it, I don't. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll hold down the fort.
All right. All right, so time to make a drink. And this one's gonna be the Caipirinha. If you guys remember from Two Queens and a Pullout, the episode 2 of Beyond the Humidor, talked about my quest to find a Caipirinha in Denver. Did not work out well. Denver, do better. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this started. This is what you're gonna need. Some Grand Marnier, little vodka, that comes later. Some Le Blanc. It's this Brazilian rum. Smoked. It's a smoked rum. Its formal name is cachaça. Some simple syrup, lemon lime soda, your ice, your limes, and your drinking utensils. So let's get this started. Got your glass. We're gonna set it right there. We're gonna throw 3 little lime wedges in there. Boom, put them in there, and we want a little simple syrup. So, gonna crack that open. Gonna use 3/4 of an ounce. Get on in there. Then what we're gonna do is muddle. We're gonna take our muddler. We're gonna take our glass with our lime and our simple syrup, and we're just gonna kind of just squeeze just a little bit. Now, you'll get into some arguments with some folks to say, say how much muddling you're supposed to do. Personally, if you muddle too much, it's gonna get bitter, and that's no fun. Some people like that tartness, I don't. So we got that. So let's get our ice in there. So let's pour some ice in here. About 3/4 full. No harm, no foul. Get in between there. Now for the good stuff. The cachaça. Crack it open. We're gonna go 1.5 ounces. Anyway, got that in there. And now, what's next? Lemon lime soda. And we're gonna just put enough in there, just about to here where you got a little bit of space left. There's a reason for that. Now, I'm gonna do my stirring. Stir, stir, stir. Get it all together. Everybody melds, getting along. And that's a good thing. Now, learn this on a cruise ship. Gonna put in some Grand Marnier. You wanna hear a funny story? When I first saw this, I actually called it Grand Mariner. People laughed their asses off. But we gonna just get it on in there like that. It's a little float of Grand Marnier. Now, I got a straggler lime. What do I do with it? Plop it in there, or be Mr. Fancy Pants. Slice it down the middle. Little bit right there, if I can get that right. Ooh. And that, my friends, is a Caipirinha. Oh crap, almost forgot. I sat here with the vodka and forgot to tell you guys, there's something else you can make. It's a little derivative of the Caipirinha called the Caipirushka. So we're gonna need some more lime. So I'm gonna just chop it down the middle here. And I'm gonna make me some lime wedges. I'm looking down because I do not want to chop my finger off and be in the hospital doing Facebook Live. All right, so now, another glass. Drop your 3 limes in there. These are awfully big. We're gonna kind of, again, not chopping my finger off. Boom. Now, we're gonna go ahead and put that simple syrup in there, that 3/4 ounce. Get on in there. Got it on in there. Now we're gonna muddle just to bring out the essence of the lime. That's what we want to do. Okay. Then up next is the ice. All right. And then instead of cachaça, we're gonna just cover that up because we don't want to waste alcohol. We're gonna break out the vodka. Now, this is Tiny Wife's vodka, so if she's watching this, she's not going to be happy with me. I'm using her vodka, but that's okay. I'll go to Costco and buy you a big one, sweetie. One. I like vodka. We're going to close that up. Then a little lemon lime soda. Then we're going to stir it up again. And of course, we got our Grand Marnier float. Get on in there. Oh, look! I've got 2 lime wedges. One. Yeah, they're uneven. There's 2 lime wedges. It looks weird, but no one's paying for this drink, so I don't care. So, back upstairs. And Greg thinks he's getting one. These are mine.
Good God, how long can it take to make one damn drink?
Oh, honey, I'm home.
About freaking time. I've been holding down the fort, trying to figure out what I'm going to talk to these people. Oh, good, you brought me a drink.
Yes. Caipirinha, Caipirushka.
Yeah. Don't lie to people.
What do you mean don't lie to people?
I know they're both for you. I got iced tea, so we're good.
Yeah, good point there. Hey, everybody, welcome to the latest YouTube video of Beyond the Humidor on the patio. I'm Scott Robinson. I'm joined by Greg. We set up on our patio, on my patio.
Our patio?
You
I
don't pay
live
the
here.
mortgage.
No, I don't.
So we want to do a little something for a few reasons, just to do some little snippets and talk to you about different cigars, stuff that we're up to, stuff aside from the podcast, just for laughs, just for kicks. And starting off this one, yesterday, had a nice little get together in Herf with some folks that we know. Barbecue, good food, some good smokes.
Absolutely, it always is, you know, and the food was dynamic. I mean, I think it was a good way we did it this time with you doing the proteins, the brisket and the pork belly burn ends, and everybody bringing a side.
Yeah, that works out a lot better because that was enough trying to do 4 proteins at once.
Yeah.
I was doing double Traegers. That was actually fun. I'm kind of glad I haven't sold the old one yet.
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering, not to change the subject too quickly, real quick, but if you're wondering about the video for the latest podcast, which is leaves and sizes, unfortunately, we kind of screwed up. Yeah,
that sounds like a lot of people.
The producer screwed up. I screwed up. I forgot to plug in the cable for the mic, for the camera that goes into the board here that you see. And basically, it looks like this. And that's all you get.
You
so
killed Master Chow.
Video's kind of
now
useless.
You shall pay.
But you know that was such a great time yesterday.
Yeah,
you know?
But you know, I was ready to go to bed. I think we broke it up at around 10 o'clock.
10:30.
Yeah, 10:30, because I was up since like 3 a.m. cooking brisket. It's worth it, but
it was good too.
Oh yeah,
it was very good. You know.
Yeah, I was loving those burn ends though.
Oh yeah, well you know the brisket burn ends were good, but dude, your pork belly burn ends, which if you guys really want to know what's going on, we'll get to some cooking segments with Scott over here.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, but the pork belly burn ends that he does, that is the shit.
Well, let's get on to cigars since this is kind of a cigar video, kinda. And we got here the Superfly by Oscar Valadares. This is in the Connecticut. It usually comes in Maduro, doesn't it?
Yeah, so the original release of the cigar, of the Superfly, was in 2019 at IPCPR. It was a Maduro. The boxes, if you've ever seen them, are very, well, you would know more than I would, but they are very apparent that they come from the 70s time era. The boxes are bright purple. The Connecticut's bright pink. You know, the labels are very 70s with their logos and things like that. It's a neat cigar. And the first one that came out in 2019 was, of course, the Maduro. I don't know if you've smoked one. I know I haven't.
I haven't yet. I mean, at the shop, I think all they have are the Connecticut's.
No, they're actually out of Connecticut's. TR only has the Maduros right now.
Really?
Yeah. These ones, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I think I remember hearing they were only limited production. So,
Hold on, this Caipirinha, it's just too many limes. There we go.
how is that, by the way?
Mm,
You know, you were down there for a long time.
it's limey-rific.
Mm-hmm.
You know
So, you know, the Superfly, it's really a good cigar. And, you know, if you can get a hold of the Connecticut and you're a Connecticut fan, I really suggest you try one. It's one of my favorites. It's Honduran Connecticut or Nicaraguan Connecticut broadleaf.
It's a Honduran, I believe. The filler is Dominican, Nicaragua, and Honduran. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great stick. And, you know, I've smoked almost everything Oscar's put out. I think the only thing I haven't smoked is the Big Johnny and the Woody because their ring gauges and sizes are just obnoxious for me. But
Yeah, you know, I used to smoke those huge ring gauges and thinking bigger was better when I didn't know any better. And now I look at them, it's like, that's just ridiculous. It's about the equivalent. I went to Whiskey Fest about 10 years ago in San Francisco. And, you know, it was just like, you know, all whiskey all the time, all the booze with all the types of brands of whiskey. And there's this cat walking around with a sifter. I swear to Christ, looked like something you win at the fair as a joke. I mean, it was about this big around. It's like, so what do? You pour a little whiskey in there and you put your entire head into the glass? You actually could. I laughed my ass off.
wow, that's a pretty good sized snifter there.
Yeah, unnecessary is what it was.
Well, you know, I know if you're frequent listeners to our podcast, you know that we always talk about, you know, the smaller the ring gauge, the more flavor a cigar tends to have because the larger ring gauges require more filler to bulk up that size. And, you know, like the Big Johnny's a 70 ring gauge, the Woody is an 80 ring gauge. The cigars are pretty good size. In fact, you know, Craig, the tobacconist at Tobacco Republic, he smoked a Woody. If you don't know what that is, it's an 80 ring gauge by 24 inches. The cigar is gigantic.
That's crazy.
So he smoked one Sunday at the lounge there, and it took him. The lounge is open 10 to 6. It took him all day to smoke the whole thing.
Yeah, low and slow.
Mm-hmm.
Smart man.
Yeah, it was it was an interesting thing to watch. I saw the end of it when I got off work and went to the shop, but it was definitely interesting.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Superfly for a sec. What kind of taste are you getting out of the initial draw?
You know, as a Connecticut, I typically associate with lighter, earthier, grassy flavors. In this case, one of your neighbors is leaving. If you could hear that. I don't know if you can or not. But I typically, lighter, grassier flavors. In this case, I think this is more of a very, you know, nutmeggy, nutty intro to it. It's nothing very strong. It's very, very subtle in its flavor. And it's actually one of the things that I like about this particular cigar, which I went out of my way to find 3 more boxes of it, is it's a Connecticut with flavor.
Yeah.
You know,
I would
so
agree on that. It's a very light woodsy taste to it.
woodsy and nutty, if you guys don't know, are our favorite descriptions.
And hint of raccoon.
Lamb, banana, and raccoon.
There you go.
But, yeah, you know, too bad Larry's not here.
He's having a barbecue of his own.
But it's kind of tight for 3 people, so yeah.
Yeah, we'll squeeze him in here one show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a must. We got to have Larry, you know.
You put him on a bar stool back here in the corner?
Hell yeah, why not? He'd do it. Love you, Larry. Love your show.
Yes. But, yeah, I mean, you know, it was nice. And before we get cards and letters saying we violated protocol, no, we didn't. Everything was outside. And we had a good time, the few of us that got together. It was less than 10.
Yeah, and half of us are vaccinated anyway.
True. Too true.
Yeah, I think we'll live, though. I think it's okay.
Yeah, probably. But, you know, I mean, you know, what do you think as far as a Superfly, you know, as we're bouncing back and forth here? It's our first time doing this kind of video, so bear with us. We'll learn as we go. But when you look for, you know, Connecticut's, I know, are not normally your thing. But when you're looking for something on the lighter side, what do you look for?
Well, contraire, mon frere. I do like Connecticut's on occasion when I don't want something, and I've said this a million times on the podcast, I don't want something to punch me in the face. I just want a nice light cigar that I can just casually smoke if I haven't had a big meal or I'm just not feeling, something real strong. I'll go to the Connecticut's.
Mm-hmm. See, I started with the Connecticut, and to be fair, I haven't had a Connecticut for a while, aside from a few Oscars being one of them, that have really piqued my interest. I'm more of I want more flavor. I started off in the cigar world smoking Connecticut's, and that was all I smoked for a couple of years. But now I'm starting to see that there's a lot of times where I want more flavor in that. And a lot of times a Connecticut just doesn't do it. This one, however, delivers.
The Grand Habano makes some terrific Connecticut's.
The number one, yeah.
The number one, and I don't want to use the word basic. I would say it's more of a primer. It's a cigar primer, if you will. It's nice and light. It's very simple. It's not complex, but it's still an enjoyable smoke. You don't have to have complex flavors all the time to enjoy the cigar. I think some people get away from that, or if you become from neophyte to aficionado, the closer you get to aficionado, or what you think is aficionado, you'll think that I have to smoke cigars that have taste and have depth. And that's not always the case.
No, sometimes it is just to enjoy the cigar for what it is.
Without a doubt.
And I think that does get away from them. I tend to like the occasional, I tend to call them a puro, where the wrapper, the binder, and the filler is all the same kind of leaves.
Yes.
So it gives you a one flavor note, and you really, really enjoy that flavor note. So I tend to like those more than on occasion too. And it is what everybody likes something different.
Yes, that's very true. Let's talk about just for a second. Let me circle back. God, I hate that term now. But let's circle back, and as far as
wait till outside the box comes in. Think outside the box.
Oh, Jesus, I lived a career listening to that crap.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, on a rating of not even at gunpoint to take your ass to flavor country. Yeah, I actually found something that's other than 0. I smoked a particular cigar about 2 days ago on someone's behest.
What are you looking at me for?
You did this. I took 2 puffs of it. I will not name it because our policy here at Beyond the Humidor is we will never pan a cigar, even if it's bad. But we're going to tell you the truth. So usually we can say things like, it's not in my wheelhouse. I had a cigar, I think it was yesterday, not even at gunpoint. I just know. I took 2 puffs of it, and usually, that would be a good segment, bad cigar stories. Sometimes you have a cigar that's bad, but you can power through it. It's like, it's not my favorite, but I have good cigars at home, and I don't want to hurt this person's feelings, or whatever the case may be, or you're just desperate. You've been 4 days without a cigar. I have no idea what that's like. And you're like,
actually, I'd like to see you 4 days without a drink. That'd be even more entertaining.
Anyway.
So the cigar.
Yeah. So, 4 days without a cigar, whatever happened. You got taken hostage. All the cigar stores burned down, whatever. And you're like, you find a cigar. Let's just take our favorite that we like to laugh at is the Swisher Grape. I find a Swisher Grape after 4 days of not smoking. It's like, well, it's a cigar. And you power through it. I couldn't even do that with this. I almost said the name.
No, don't say the name.
As they say in Harry Potter, he who shall not be named.
In my case, I got about halfway through it, and it was not my brand of vodka. Just the easiest way to say it.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. As Scott said, our policy is not to pan anything, but we will be brutally honest with you. And you're going to get cigars you don't like. You're going to get cigars you like a lot. You're going to get gifted cigars that you may or may not like. It's the nature of the beast. And I encourage everyone to at least try it and make your own opinion, even though you're never going to find out what it is.
No, we're just, you'll have when you smoke cigars long enough, you're going to come across that bad cigar. You're going to come across more than one, but that's the whole fun of exploring. Because if you don't have bad cigars, you will never get to that ultimate cigar that you just love your go-to if you don't continue to try and expand your palate.
I think so too, and we're leaving something out. I think.
What's that?
I got the email that the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival's back on.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
sound like freaking Ed McMahon, and I probably pretty much aged myself doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, if you remember Carson and Ed. Yes.
I don't need a hype man.
Oh, come on, it's fun.
But the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival is something that we did back in, to circle back around.
Oh, God, you said it again.
To the Caipirinha video that you just saw before we got back into this one. The Two Queens and a Pullout episode is all about our very first adventure to Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival, and the group of us went, never having been there, never having seen it, only heard about it from a couple of patrons that join us at the shop. So, I highly encourage any cigar smoker, whether you are the most basic, you've only smoked one or two cigars, to the best aficionado, that is the show for you to go to. It's so much fun. There are tons of different vendors out there. You get to meet everybody who's there. Rocky's there. Lito Gomez from LFD is there.
Island
the list
Jim
goes on. Island Jim, Oscar. There's so many people that we met that last trip, and it was unfortunately canceled last year due to COVID. Mm-hmm. They are thinking that they're going to be able to do that. Tickets are going on sale May 8th for the early bird code holders, and then 7 days after that, so the 16th or 15th for the general public. And, get a ticket, come to the event, have some fun. Look for us there. We're going to be there.
Yes. Also, our friends Matt and Garrett from How About That Cigar are going to be there as well.
Yeah, they will. They're live on Facebook every week.
Yes. Check out their program. I believe they're doing live Mondays now.
I think so.
Yeah. What is it, 9 p.m. in Eastern?
9:30 Eastern, so
yes.
6:30 Pacific.
Definitely check those guys out. They've got it going on. Lots of interviews, lots of fun. Really good guys.
Yeah. And they should be there, too.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be partying with them. You do realize that. There's going to be a lot of drinking involved.
Well, for some of you, there is.
And I think it was Garrett who challenged me to hand-to-hand combat, but only after a few drinks.
He's still going to lose. Is he insane? Garrett, my friend, not a good idea. Black belt.
It's all fun.
It's all fun until someone's arm gets broken.
As I'm going down to Superfly, again, it's a good smoke. I like this. It's a nice casual smoke, if you will.
Yeah, and it really is. And the other thing, too, is we've talked about many times on the podcast, size of the cigar, the length of the cigar for the time that you have. And, this is really a good one. Obviously, it's going to go a lot longer than this video for us, because we could sit here and enjoy a drink and continue with the cigar after we're done with you guys. But, you really got to factor how much time do you have to enjoy your cigar, because you don't want to rush it.
Yes.
And you definitely don't want to cut it and leave it alone and relight it later, if at all possible, because the flavors are nasty.
Now, my question, I'm wondering for the folks who are out there right now, COVID restrictions have eased up quite a bit here in California, and in certain places like Texas and Florida, they're almost non-existent. So things are coming back to some form of normalcy, and as more people get vaccinated, the more people are going to be more comfortable going out. But I wonder, if you guys are doing herfs, because for us yesterday, it was a really big deal, because the last huge get-together that we had together was the 4th of July of 19.
It was.
And this was the first time we all actually, our core group got together, had a good time. And I still go back to the story with Lewis, because Lewis was at the herf last night. and we were talking about stories of the Rocky Mountain Festival. We went into downtown Denver to a lounge, and I'm not calling anyone out, so I'm not going to name it by name. But what do you call a person who lights and cuts your cigar? It's not wine. It would be
Wine would be a sommelier.
Sommelier, yeah.
Minion's a bit degrading, so cigar assistant.
Cigar. Let's just call him a cigar sommelier, and I use that term loosely because this cat. He was setting people on fire. He had this thing where he had this torch where you could like brown 4 creme brulees at once. Basically, it's something that your grandfather used to go up against the Viet Cong during the Tet Offensive in '68. And he's lighting these cigars. The ends of them are like all brown like a burn victim. So Lou goes over to assist him to show him how. And the guy tells him, I cut and light 300 cigars in a day. I know what I'm doing.
No, you don't.
No, he really didn't. I said, Lou, you should have looked at him and said, no. Put down the torch. I am the captain now.
And it's a funny story, but it also brings into, not everyone is as skilled as everybody else. And if you're working in the industry, you kind of should know what you're doing.
You should.
I'm not going to lie.
If a neophyte did something like that, I can accept it because you don't know any better. But if you're working in a lounge and you don't know that, I'm not as forgiving.
Not really.
No.
But, the other thing, too, is was that individual properly trained from the get-go? We just don't know. And it is what it is. I mean, I've seen people light their cigars where they've practically got, they're like this far away and they're, dropping ash into the bottom of their lighter there. So to each his own. But
yeah.
Damn.
But as you go through your cigar journey, and I like to emphasize this because I know there's people out there, hey, look, I've done it. So
I even over-toast my cigars now, and I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here with a top hat and a tux on going rump, telling you the proper way to light and cut. It's an experience actually to light and cut your cigar when you start really getting into it. The cut matters, the lighting. I know a lot of us, and I've done it even to now, where it's like, I just want to get this sucker to light. So it's like, yeah, it's like I'm welding.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have time, and I suggest this for anybody out there, if you truly want to get what it is, this is one of those things where unless you do it, you don't get it. I hearken it to a motorcycle because before I actually rode a motorcycle, this whole thing when you talk to guys who ride, they'll sit there and tell you, hey, man, I get on my bike and I don't worry about the mortgage, the bills, my old lady nagging me, the job, yelling kids, no nothing. I get on the bike and I'm at peace. And most people will look at them like they're out of their freaking mind. Just much like Greg is looking at me right now. When I bought my Harley 5-6 years ago, when I got on it and did my first trip, it was like, I get it. And I say that as far as cigars go, the lighting of the cigar. To actually have time and go through the process. The process is the point. So cutting it, selecting your cut, taking your time. You're not rushing. You're doing your cut. And then when you're lighting it, when you take a flame a little bit of ways and you're actually roasting the foot slowly, just slowly and gradually. You're not trying to just light the whole thing in one shot and just sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the process. And then when you put it to your mouth and you blow out that whatever impurities in the cigar and in the fluid, and there shouldn't be any in the fluid, but blow that out and then take your first puffs and those first remnants of smoke comes out and the aroma comes out. It's dare I say, a religious feeling. And I suggest anybody out there who has, when you have the time to actually sit back and do that, you'll get it.
I think so. And your surroundings make a whole huge difference too. I mean, there's so many factors that all of us in the cigar smoking community absolutely love what we do, and those little moments like that are why we smoke, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's something that sometimes in the hustle and bustle, we don't appreciate them. And sometimes you've got to take the time out to appreciate those kinds of moments, enjoying the draw. It's being within the peace and quiet. A lot of the time you're social, but sometimes you smoke by yourself, just relaxing, listening to music, whatever the case may be, and just enjoying the draw and the smoke.
I know a lot of times, when we're prepping for the show, the weeks before we set up to do the recordings for the video and the podcast is, obviously there's a lot of time spent laughing at the shop, sitting here on Scott's balcony, smoking and talking, because I actually work about 6 miles over that direction from us.
Are you 6 miles?
Approximately.
Oh, crap. I didn't know you were that far. I guess so.
Yeah, it's a little bit from here by car. It's straight through. It's not 6 miles. It's probably about 4, but
yeah, now that they opened up the other street.
Yeah. But, there are also those moments where I sit in my own backyard. Scott sits here on his balcony, and I've got the tablet here, and I'm researching the thing we're going to discuss, or looking at a YouTube video of a review on a cigar to get some feedback, secondary feedback, to see if they agree with what I think or disagree with what I think, because that's fodder for the show too. So there's those alone moments that I think are necessary.
Well, speaking of the show, let's talk about, just for a second, some of the upcoming ideas that we've come up with. I think Greg touched upon the cooking segment. What I'd like to do is, do stuff that, when you're preparing for a herf, food is a big deal. I mean, for me, I think there needs to be a little bit of food there, just to kind of balance out the alcohol. Yeah, listen to me talk. Yeah, it has to do with alcohol. Yeah, I know.
Always. Hey, I want to touch on something real quick, not to jump the subject too fast.
No worries.
I do remember on a previous podcast you railing about how you hated the term herf, and now you're using it quite pleasantly.
For lack of a word, I just used herf.
Okay.
But you're right. I think it was because of the whole quarantine thing. Virtual herf, that's what killed me.
Virtual herf, that's what it was.
It was the virtual herf. And, hey, not to be holier than thou, we had a few virtual herfs during 2020.
Yes, we did. We Zoomed.
They were fun, but it just reminded you how miserable things were.
Yeah.
Although, let's be real. And I want to actually put some perspective for all of us whining and bitching about how 2020 sucked. I read something, I think it was on Facebook or somewhere else, where it talked about our grandparents, of what they went through throughout their lives. When you talk about people who grew up at the beginning of the 20th century, first you had to deal with World War I. Then you had to deal with the Spanish flu. Then you had to deal with those ever so aggravating Nazis. Then you dealt with the bomb, communism, the Cold War, Vietnam, Korea. Yes, I forgot Korea. And every other dirty war in the 1980s. We really don't have a lot to bitch about.
No, I don't think we do. For me, it was the not being able to get together with the extended group that I have now. It was a little distressing, but, we all got through it.
Yeah, we managed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the big thing. So when we harken back on 2020, how awful it was, I'm going to this mode of, let's put some perspective to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, as awful as COVID was, in the big scheme of things, I think if you look at the list of viral pandemics, I think COVID is down at it's not even the top 10, really. Is it? Because, I mean, between AIDS, the Black Death, both of them, the Spanish flu.
It's not a high. It's not in the top 10 or so. Yes, but it's here, unfortunately, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and with modern medicine and a vaccine coming out, 2020 looks a lot brighter.
Yeah. You know, and 68 was the Hong Kong flu, wasn't it?
I was not around in 68.
No, I mean, I just knew because that's what I think it was in the late 60s was the Hong Kong flu. Yeah, back in 68, you could call it that, and no one freaked out, and no one messed with, Chinese or Asian people. So I'll just say this now, just because it's time appropriate. Please leave them alone if that's a thing. I don't even know if that's I almost said it.
You almost did.
But I didn't because I'm good. I don't even understand how that's a thing.
I don't know. But we're not, remember, we're not political, though.
We're not political, but this isn't really a political thing. It goes back to the golden rule.
Well, and I
treat
think,
people how you want to be treated.
Actually, I think that applies in the cigar world because, we all sit down in our lounges now that they're starting to open back up again. And now that most of them are starting to open back up again. And it doesn't matter what you do, what you wear, who you are, what your skin color is, what your religious beliefs are, what your sexual orientation is. We don't care. We all get together at the lounge. We light up cigars. We harass each other mercilessly. We tell jokes. We tell stories. We I hate to use this word, but commune. And we have a good time, and it doesn't matter. And
for someone who wasn't around during the 60s, you're using some real hippie-ish words. He said commune.
I said commune, not commune.
Yeah, close enough.
Whatever. So, we're letting this one run a little bit long here.
Yeah, but it's fun, so
yeah,
why not?
And then there, the other segments that we've talked about, obviously, is we're going to teach you a few of our favorite drinks. Mine, it's real easy. Open the bottle of wine and pour it in a glass. His is complicated.
It's not that complicated. If you looked at the video, yeah, it's not complicated at all.
But that being said, we both like to cook. Our various friends and guests that have joined us and join us, we all get together and do things. We camp, we hunt, we fish, we do all this good stuff. So look for more segments as we get time to record them of things like that we do. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. Like and share this video. Comment on it. Give it a thumbs up. And again, as I always say, let us know you're out there. We want to put these videos out for you guys to enjoy. And I'll be definitely be sharing a few of my recipes. I'm thinking, I've got a few in mind. I mean, some that you would do for a cigar get-together that are real simple. I can do the whole steak, mushrooms, and wine thing.
I mean, we can do anything. I mean, Food Network, move over. Here we come.
I'm not going that far. Yeah, Greg during the video.
You don't want to be the Black Alton Brown?
Yeah, that would be fun, but I don't think I'm that talented. I don't have that kind of talent. Alton Brown has a talent, and I don't ever want to take away from him. By the way, and I've said this once, and I'll say it a million times, the whole my rib rub, yeah, it's from Alton Brown. I mean, my man, yeah, it's the greatest rub ever.
Hey, maybe if he sees the video one day, he'll come join us.
Perchance to dream.
Why not?
Absolutely.
But so we're as we wrap this up, what are your thoughts as you're into your Superfly?
Still loving it. It's getting stronger, as I would suspect. I think a part of that is because the heat is going through the cigar, and the leaves are getting hotter, so it's changing the flavor.
You're not blowing out through it, are you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, to use his scale. Not even at gunpoint to take your ass to Flavor Town. This.
God damn it! You keep.
It's Flavor Country.
Yes.
I forget. He's the Marlboro Man.
Take your ass to Flavor Country.
Whatever.
There you go.
So between one to that, Okay?
He just can't say it. I don't understand. What is the thing that you just can't say it? It's like Flavor Town. You just ruin it.
I watch too much Food Network. What do you want?
You need strangling because I know who you're hearkening to. Not because you watch Food Network, but because I know who you're referring
I
to.
wish I had his hair.
No.
Anyway,
Just
for
I'm
me,
on my second drink.
for me, this is a solid 8.5. I mean, it's very hard, and as we've said in reviewing the reviewers, my opinion doesn't mean anything compared to your opinion. You're the one smoking it. So,
Exactly.
For me, a 9 and a 10 are very hard to achieve, but 8.5. I want, when I look for a cigar, if it's even in that 5 or better, it's a great cigar.
Definitely.
So,
I mean, anything above a 7 is good. I mean, I would call it a good day. On my scale of not even at gunpoint to take your ass to flavor country, I'm going to give this probably an 8.6 and a half. I think that's a good cigar.
yeah.
As Greg said, the 9s and 10s are hard to come by. What I would call a 10 would be the Partagas Series D number 4.
Yeah, I mean, perfection.
Or the Trinidad.
Perfection's not going to happen. It's just too hard to achieve.
No, absolutely not.
But, I think it's been a good day. So, as Scott said earlier, please like, comment, subscribe, and, of course, share with your friends.
Most definitely. We'll see you guys at the lounge.